standing by. Good to have you. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Charles, and good morning, Josh.
Interesting headlines, frankly speaking. I'm sure you've been following the numbers so far. Looks like the odds is against the Democrats.
Well, that's what is the talk of the town and U.S. election. But remember, the ex-diplomat of Nigeria said Harris winning or Trump winning will have very little effect on Nigeria. And I believe that too. So it's not something we wasted. Then we discuss about it as world global affair. Let's talk about what's happening and what can Nigeria pick from it.
Yeah, but again, one thing that has always resonated with Trump's campaign has always been that the fact that he would deport so many persons. The Democrats have opened the borders, and so he is angry about that, and that most likely resonated with very many Americans. That's why I'm sure that they're voting for him. So you don't think that would be a tumultuous effect on the African country? Because we know that Africans love America. Most people are there illegally.
When they love America is that they believe it's God's own country, and then our country is Satan's own country. Now, that is where the two candidates America are presenting for presidential election are speaking about America from different sides. One stands for what America is doing now, and some people who have been bought over religion sees it as a generation that will take the world to a level of immorality and debauchery. Then the other side is a man who is speaking a language of America in a way America wouldn't want to come out openly to speak it. It's only Trump that can look at your face and tell you that America is for Americans. I wish Nigerian president would come and tell people the world that Nigeria is for Nigeria and they will do everything to protect. That's this proverb in my place. You don't just tell somebody, look at your mouth. Look at how your mouth looks. And you are eating your own food. And I come and say, look at your mouth. Meanwhile, you are eating your own food. You are not eating it. So whatever way my mouth looks. So Trump, the Americans are being diplomatic. Don't mind what they are talking about. Whichever way you vote for America, whichever way you vote for America, you vote for the presidential candidate, the Americans will still be America, and they will have no effect. The other one is that the one who pushing the agenda of LGBTQ, which they have done over time, trying to subdue the whole world. If America want to go LGBTQ and even want to teach children to begin to accept transgender issues and begin to say you are a man trapped in a human body, and say there's some kind of things that America is trying to do, and somebody is pushing that agenda. And somebody is saying, if you want to come to America, come with genuine papers. And because most people are there with, like you said, with their papers that are not genuine, they're afraid. When the stone rises up, all the breakables under will be afraid. That's the only thing. What can they say Trump has done for them? Even if he's pretending, and we think we believe in God, he is the only person who has mentioned God in his campaign. So why would America and all these people bring us religion and then turn around to change our mind and confuse us, and they don't know what they're doing and what they're talking about? So I have said they don't go and vote. Whichever way they vote, we watch them. But there's one thing we will fight and hold on strongly until they get somebody that will give the poison of LGBTQ to swallow, and we follow that. We will defend that to the level that has been an issue. Because a subsequent government in Nigeria refused to adopt by that. And then the world who are supporting this candidate have a choice which way we want the world to go. Is it America that wants you to, before you come to America, you come honorably? Or is it the one that will win and want to push the agenda that you even walk the way? And when I see Charles, I say, when you introduce yourself, we're waiting and say it's incomplete until you say you are he. Or she, or she, he. All those nonsense are confusing the world because they've gotten to a level of development. They don't know what to do with their liberty. Let them leave us alone until we get to their level. We think like that, but they can't get there, and want to confuse the whole world. When our people look at what is happening, Look at what is happening with some issues we have in Nigeria. And Josh, we always want to, in the new day, want us to discuss Bob Risky. I mean, for me, I just said I've deliberately, now that he has even jackpot, the latest of the news is that they are jackpots. Can Nigeria face their fuel problem? Can we face our hunger and hardship? And that's it. There's a Guardian, the shouting headline in Guardian, which is linked to American politics. Public engagement, debates have faded away as vote buying has taken over.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The two presidents that are campaigning in America went to they have had debates severally. They had one, two, three,
yes.
And they are still ready to, even as we are talking now, to debate. Is our present government and the government, did he appear to debate? Has any of the winning presidents in Nigeria appeared in debates? And they want us to discuss America. What are they taking off? Now they don't believe in elections in Nigeria, vote buying. There were days we as children growing up, we go to campaign, we go to all those public rallies where political parties come to address the people. The only thing we go home with then is handbills of parties they will share, you'll be reading and seeing, and it becomes like a festival. And some adults are making progress. When somebody stand on the podium to tell you, I'll water you, I'll fire you, I'll do this, all those kind of gave some sense that they value the people they're talking to. These days that's faded. You call them to debate, they won't come. And they will sometimes sit here and want us to believe America is a model. They will travel to those countries in America and come back. What are they bringing back? Governors are doing election. They cannot go for debate. They will select people and they go and gather talks and rig election and go back and they will talk. That's why all of them should go and bury their heads in shame. I'm ashamed of Nigeria's political system and democracy. It's not making sense. And we come here, they want us to use the American presidency to distract us from hunger and hardship we are doing. It's diversionary. Let the Americans do their elections. Because they have already gotten to a level of stability. Whatever way it comes, America will still be America. And they will live fine. What is happening in our own? Like I said, if you want to go for moonlight play as a child, you look at what your parents have. You don't just go and follow those ones who are set trap for bats and stay awake. It's only matter also molanya. You stay awake with the people who have caught bats with their snares. And at the end of it, what do? You swallow saliva and they will eat your bat.
Some people will claim that, look, we're just 64 years old. America's democracy is over 200 years.
You look for excuse of development. So do Nigerians look for excuse that they were at 64 years? Some of them are Nigerian president using Escalade as a car. You should be using Volkswagen. Or go back to Vauxhall. All those cars that the 64 years we use, they follow technology of the world now. And want to give me excuse? He's using a jet, presidential jet. That is the one they were describing the interior. Why not go and start using truck and the wheelbarrow? You follow the world, you don't want to do what the world is doing, you want to excuse why at 64 years we are doing vote buying instead of going for debate and doing voting. Is that what you're saying? That's what the proof to me. Every Nigerian wants excuse. Blame another man. You are 64 years. So remain at 64. So monkey go market no go return. That's how we started counting. We are a young nation. We are young. At 64, you say you're a young nation. At 64, you're young. And Africans are looking up to Nigeria. Of course, they've lost trust.
I was about to ask if they are still looking, at us.
They don't. So you can see that. Let's look at that headline because our time is
so
short.
Speaking of we facing our own problem, Shetima came out to now say that over 300 billion was lost in the protest, and after they've released the hungry minors. So it is looking more like they knew about this, and it was just more about the fact that they lost money, and that's why they wanted them to be there.
I'm sure they're using figures. They should go and tell us in what area and how many days did the protest last. and you have got the children, 119 of them is minors is what they released. You see how that Nigerian data system, when we were talking about, we thought there was only 10 children earlier. It got to the point when they brought them to the court. We now know the extent of damage Nigerian government did to itself. And they're trying to, instead of keeping quiet, our honorable vice president is saying all this. Who does he want to convince? You, these children made you look 300 billion in protests that did not, that died in 3 days, because those people made their mark and they found the extent of power and what they call the what kind of the Nigerian security system, how they pounced on this and how they want to suppress it, and they pulled back, and the elections, he lost 300 billion. They don't tell us how much they've lost by 90 of Nigerians who dropped using vehicles because fuel is selling at 1,004. Let them come out with such, since they are good at data when it favors them. Let them tell us how many number of Nigerians that are not employed in Nigeria. Come out with figures. Let them tell us the number of Nigerians that are dying of sickness in hospital because all our medical doctors have departed to other countries of the world. Let's come out with these figures. You are coming with 300 billion. Who are you talking to about it? You lost 300 billion. If Nigeria has 300 billion, how much did they use to renovate his vice president's house? That's what they're talking about. I just don't know why they're doing this. And they think they have respect for us. They should find a way of talking to us. That's all we are asking for. We're not asking for too much. But there are certain things you tell us in 2024. Like Charles will say, is it still because you're a young nation, that's why they're telling you this? Is it why they're telling you this until we reach the level of America, 200 years democracy, than the way people will tell you what you can understand? They did it. They still take us to the same school. Most people go to the same school the Americans are going to. Almost all our leaders go to Harvard School to learn one or two things.
The ones that go
they
to
sit
school.
they sit with these people. They travel. They own houses. Their children are there. So what is it that they want us to still go back to our barbaric age, where we tie a small piece of cloth or even tie animal heads and skin, and then so that we will not be comparable to the world? I've asked, let the House of Assembly, National House of Assembly, NAS, and Senate pass a law that Nigeria should not be compared with any nation of the world. Let them be on their own. So stop the world. Nigeria should jump out. You guys are moving too fast. We cannot meet up. So we sell off all that we have bought from America. Nigerians buy cars that will start 20 miles away with their remote. But none of them know how to plant cassava. I mean, stick of cassava, put it on the ground for cassava to come. And we depend on.
All right,
my
Chris,
brother,
thank you. This is the much we can take on the newspaper headlines this morning. We really do appreciate your passionate input on this. Thank you very much.
Well, stakeholders are reversal of 18 years and say they are happy. I don't know whether they reverse 18 years to go to university. I still say the Nigerians are not ashamed of certain things. Are you reversing? When some Nigerians and people are doing us becoming professors at the age of 14, 12, and you are hailing them. They reverse that you can't go to university until you are 18. You are hailing them. I said they should put it at 25.
Well, thank you once more, Chris. When we come back, we have another discussion lined up for you. You do want to stay tuned. We'll see you after this.